Ashley with 2 E's.
The best that ever done it.
On the all-new 93.7 The Beat.
All right, see y'all on 93.7 The Beat, H-Town's Real Hip Hop and home of the Breakfast Club. My name is Ashley, and I got a black woman who created this radio interview.
Oh, come on now. Let's talk about it.
We got Rapsody in the building. What's going on?
What's up? Nothing. We finally slid through H-Town.
What's the last time you were here?
That I can remember is 2013.
Listen, I know you were at South by a few years ago.
Oh, well, yeah.
But that's Austin. It's
yeah,
a different role,
you know.
But a black woman created this tour.
Yes.
Tonight, House of Blues, Peacock Room. Obviously, Reza has been very talkative since y'all got here. But
that's my guy.
Y'all were in my hometown in Seattle recently. Sold out.
Oh, okay. You from Seattle.
Area,
Seattle showed
Tacoma,
love.
yeah.
Our first sold out show was in Seattle.
Yeah. They rock with you. I know all my friends back there. They went, so they were showing me stuff. Oh. But also in Seattle is a lot of those cases of this virus going on.
Oh, the corona.
Yes. You on tour amidst all this, so how are you staying, clear of everything?
I mean, I got an ear to the street at the same time. I got to balance it through. You're not going to control me with fear. So, we grew up clean. We continue to be clean.
Hey.
We take showers, wash our hands,
Not one black person.
I still, I do meet and greet. I'm still hugging people, so,
So you just but you ain't got the mask on? Or what?
No, I'm not doing the mask.
You chilling? Okay.
Yeah, I've been flying all month. Nah, I thought about it. I was like, them flight attendants on 19 flights a day.
And they
don't have no mask. So
do make sure you wipe down the tray, though.
For sure. We need to do that regardless of the corona or not. Them joints just nasty. It got fecal matter on it. It's just, you just got to.
One of my former best friends used to be a flight attendant, and she would tell me the biggest horror stories about.
Yeah, people put their feet up there.
Or they'll change their babies and they don't wipe it down. They'll change their babies on the tray, and the attendants never wipe them down after every flight, so it's just nasty.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of this whole virus, it affected South by Southwest, which is a huge. It got a lot of people alerted because that's a huge conference, and that's when I actually met you the first time because I interviewed you at Dave East. When
for the Rapture joint.
Yeah, when Rapture came out.
Yeah.
But I looked a little different, so it's cool. Okay. But as an artist, did you go to South by early on? Did you do that whole grind it out on the streets, passing out music?
I've been to South by 3 times.
Yeah.
The first time I went, I want to say it was 2012, 2013. It was around that time. And I was with Jamla at the time. We just went to kind of experience it. I don't think I had any shows. So we just went to network, just to be in front of people, go see what the event was. So I never hit the place where it's I'm an independent, artist. I'm going to have 100 CDs with me and I'm passing them out. But I mean, I still went down there because I know it's a place for breeding artists, get as many shows as you can, make new fans, network. But, I did it that time, and then the next time I think I had a show with Mass Appeal, and then we did Rapture after that. So, I didn't have to do that boots on the ground, but my boots on the ground.
But it still did something.
Yeah, definitely.
Just a little later on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, you have Ninth Wonder as a mentor, and we'll get into your little Jay-Z story.
Which one?
We'll get into one, but you came the day after International Women's Day.
Yes.
It is this ain't got nothing to do with it, but it's the anniversary of Biggie's death.
Right, March
today.
9th. Yes, it is.
But who are some of your mentors as women in this business?
Oh, in this business, one of my first ones was Rod Digger.
Yeah.
She was the first one. Queen Latifah is one of my biggest ones now. Let me think. Moni Love is an influence. And you got people that are not MCs but behind the scenes like Shaka Pilgrim, who was the president of Rock Nation, one of Jay's best friends for a long time. Now she's working in the film department. Let me think. Who else? Who am I forgetting? Those are MC Light. MC Light too. Misa Hilton. She been in the game forever. She's we just became close within the last couple of years. So she's been giving me a lot of advice. But yeah, those are probably the biggest ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. From all of them, what is a way that you, as a woman kind of command respect in spaces where it's still really male dominated?
For me, I just try to show up and kill it. You know what I'm saying? On a musical tip, just make the best music that I can make, and never box myself in based on my gender, where I'm from. You know, knowing that I can rhyme with some of the best of them, regardless of my gender. So just showing up and letting the work speak for itself. But also, you know, being a boss and making sure that, you know, I command what I want.
Yeah.
You know, that I go for what I want. You know, those things. People respect that, I think. You know, I'm super hands-on in everything I do. But most importantly, I do it through the work more than anything.
Like, you can't deny the work ethic.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't deny the music. You can't deny the work ethic. Like, you know, that's why I'm able to, you know, walk in so many spaces and work with so many different artists. And I get respect from so many because I did the work and I let the music speak for itself. So whether you're talking about from Kendrick Lamar to Jay-Z to J Electronica to the Commons to the Legends, you know, Nas, whoever, like, I've been T.I., been respected by all of them.
Mm-hmm. Now, have you ever had to check somebody, though?
Check somebody?
Like, check. Because obviously when we talk about your single, Afeni, the power of that record is how black men sometimes, or just any man sometimes, disrespect women. When he came from a woman, the whole Tupac lyrics. But, you know, we got people that wasn't raised by the same people that raised us. So have you had those moments where you have to, like, kind of assert yourself?
Not necessarily in the industry, you know, that I've had to. For the most part, my experience with the men has been a positive one for me. I know that's not the same story for everybody, but for me, it has been. And, you know, if I check people, it wasn't like, you know, people that were necessarily in the business that I can remember. I remember the very first time I was looking for a manager. This was 2009, where, you know, I haven't really even stepped in the industry part yet. I was looking for a manager, and a guy looked me up and down, and I had on my work clothes. I worked at Foot Action at the time, and it wasn't about the music. He was like, oh, we could put you in heels and make you put you in a tight dress and make you into something. I was just like, bruh, nah. Like, you know, I'm not out here to be a video vixen, you know, eye candy. You know, I had, like, early on that happened, and I think I had band practice, and I had a fill-in drummer, and we were talking about going to Africa, and he said something to the notion of light skin versus dark skin. I had to check him on that, but other than that, my experience has been positive for the most part. You know, it comes more from, like, fans than anything in my career, where, you know, people talking about your looks, you know, what they expect me to do based on how I dress. But they're never worth, you know, acknowledging for me. No.
Because then you going to give them what they want.
Right, the attention.
Yeah, you acknowledge them.
And they can't have it. But yeah, my experience has been, you know, nothing but positive. I came up under Ninth Wonder and Young Guru. They've taught me so much. They protected me. We always defined what lane and what line we wanted to go down and path we wanted to walk, and we walked it. And it's been nothing, you know, but positivity for the most part. Like I said,
yeah,
the men have been some of my biggest supporters in my career.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Thank
but we
you.
all got to deal with comment warriors.
Yeah.
I remember sending something to Charlemagne, and I was like, because, you know, like, people love to hate him. And I was like, how do you, like, respond to this? Like, how do you deal with this? Someone just said something out of pocket. And he was like, people like that look to us to give them purpose, because that's what that's all they do with their life is, like, sit up and make comments about people they'll never meet.
Right. So you don't, like, you just don't even feed into it. I'm the queen of the block.
Yes,
like,
me too.
Yo, come for me. Come get it. Block.
People have met me in person. Like, you blocked me. I'm like, what'd you say? Because obviously you said something
right
out of pocket.
Exactly. And you find that's what it is. Like, they get butthurt. It's like, oh, I can't believe you blocked me. What you thought was gonna happen? So, you know, there's your reality check.
Yeah. Well, congrats on being added to Essence Festival.
Thank you.
On the lineup.
Oh man,
you been out there before?
I went for the first time last year.
Okay.
I did they just started last year doing extending the nights. So they got different venues where they have smaller shows outside of the Superdome. And I did some with MC Light last year. She had a girl of women in hip hop, you know, showcase. It was myself, Mamunu, Yusef, Trina was there. I'm forgetting some people, but we did that. That was my first song.
Did you get to actually explore New Orleans and like
yeah,
go out?
Yeah. I've been in New Orleans several times. My sister lived there for about 10 years almost, and I would go down 2 or 3 times a year to babysit. So
I don't know how, because that heat and that humidity is no joke.
It's thick. It's thick. Like, the nighttime is cute though.
That's all you know how to do is drink anyway.
Yeah.
to get away from it. But obviously Essence, that's a different type of festival. It's a little more laid back.
Yeah.
But it has the festivals like maybe the Coachellas or the Rolling Louds. Have those appealed to you? Like to get on those kind of lineups?
For me, like it's not necessarily a goal of mine.
Yeah.
You know, if I ever were to, you know, be booked for one, I think it's definitely dope to do. They're huge festivals, you know, and they usually tap artists that they feel, you know, have a certain, I guess, trajectory and notoriety. But, you know, it's never been anything that's been on the top of my goal list. 'Cause it's not necessarily like a checkpoint for my path or my career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my checkpoints are like Soul Train Awards and NAACP Awards, Essence Festival, you know, like things like that. And anything else that comes, you know, of course I would be excited to do it.
Or performing at halftime at CIAA.
That part. Yeah, that part.
Or, like I said, we're going to come back to Jay-Z. So I saw in one of your interviews you spoke about how I think Jay-Z gave you his email and you had exchanged with him. Is there anything you could share, any advice he's given you in those exchanges? Anything that's really helped you out? Because, you know, when people talk about Jay-Z, it's like a mythical creature. It's like, does he really exist? Yeah, like what's happening?
Exists. He definitely exists. That I could speak on? Not that I could speak on. No.
Listen, now we curious. Now I'm suspicious what y'all talking about.
You know, it's all good though. It's all good. It's all growth. It's all business. You know, just learning the business and learning how to look at things from different perspectives. Yeah. So, you know, but it's all good and positive. Yeah.
We just gonna take that as we'll find. There's a collaboration next. We'll just take
the
that.
book
as
coming 2035.
There's a coming in a few years. Now I also saw, you know, obviously we're in radio. I like to watch interviews and get to know people. And you spoke about watching a Rakim documentary. So Eve is your 3rd studio album.
Yes. But
Rakim was talking about how you have to go out and experience life every time. So 1, what do you do to do that? And 2, how do you stay away from riding the line of being forced and things being genuine and not forcing creativity or something out of you?
Yeah, that was exactly it. He was talking about having writer's block.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's no such thing as writer's block. When you have writer's block, that means that you've said everything you needed to say, and now it's time for you to go back into life and experience new things to find something to write about. And it just spoke to me because, you know, I would have what you want to call writer's block. It's just like nothing's really coming. Or, you know, people ask me, like, how do you know when you're done recording for an album? And I heard Kendrick Lamar say it one time. It's like when I don't have anything else to say. So, you know, when I get to those points of, you know, nothing's coming because I've said everything, or, you know, you just come to the end of that information, or that inspiration that you had. You go out in the world, you look for new inspiration. And I do that through conversation. Like, you know, I like it, whether it's sitting in the studio and talking with Ninth and the label, and we just talking about, it could be anything. You know, there's stuff that hits the news and our timeline, social media every day, and we just have conversations about it and build on it. I like movies. Movies always inspire me. So, you know, I'll go watch movies. I'll binge watch anything on Netflix. It could be like, you know, 2 characters in a movie having a conversation, and they might say this one profound line, and I can make a whole concept of a song about it. For instance, like Queen and Slim is out, so I'm hoping everybody's seen it. But, you know, there was a part where she's talking to her uncle, and he said something to the effect of, in my house, I'm the king. Out in the world, I'm not. You know, so it took me back to this interview that I saw with Nikki Giovanni, and oh gosh, why am I having the craziest blank? But it was this interview between Nikki Giovanni and this other legend, that James Baldwin. I'm tripping.
Okay, got you.
And they're talking about, you know, black men versus black women in the home, and you know, she's like, you know, why when you come home you fake it with me, you fake it with the world, but when you come home you can't fake it with me. Meaning, you know, why can't you come home and be happy and, you know, be uplifted, and why do you have to always come and bring the emotions to me and the reality of it? And it's like, you know, because this is the one place where I feel safe enough to do that. And, you know, just talking about, you know, those two different sides of a coin. But things like that are what inspired me to like get the pen going again. But it could be anything.
Yeah. It just, I guess, like a lot of people talk about your first album is your whole life to that point.
Yeah.
So then it's like, what else do I talk about?
What else is happening?
Like,
and it's a lot.
Yeah,
man.
am I just making up like situations? Am I going off friends and family? Like,
yeah, everything. You know, it doesn't have to just be your story, because you are the voice for a community that doesn't have the platform that you have. So tell the story, just tell the truth of what's around you, whether it's yours or somebody else's. You know, that's how I looked at art and creativity. So yeah.
I saw your you posted 224 was the anniversary of your first EP, and that's do you believe in the numerology at all? Things like that. I'm
into it now.
Yeah,
I wasn't always, but these last couple of years I've learned much and a lot more, and I'm into it.
Yeah. Obviously, the number 24 was his number. Is that why you chose that day to release it? And then it ends up being crazy. Years later.
Crazy.
Like, obviously, you came from dropping mixtapes, but now we're in an era where it's like music is always just on your head, like
all the time.
Who's a kid? We had Young Boy here on Friday. He drops 3 albums a year. We're like, how are you guys not like? Are you just making 20 songs and then just throwing it on at like? What are we?
I think it depends on the artist.
Yeah.
For myself, I don't necessarily believe I have to do that. For myself, for J. Cole, for Kendrick Lamar, for Chance the Rapper, we built a career where people and our fan and our community and our village of listeners, they know what we always going to bring to the table. It's going to be meat and potatoes, and it's going to be something that you can live with for an extended period of time. So they'll wait for us, you know,
because it's more filling.
It's more filling, right?
Yeah.
They know, you know, we bring in 3 courses, not just a Happy Meal. Ooh. So, you know, they'll wait for us, and that's the work ethic and the artistry and the craft and the professionalism and the gift that we put into our music, where, you know, we built that brand of music and as artists where, man, I'm sure they would be happy if Kendrick dropped the album every 3 months.
Yeah,
but
every 3 months.
Because, you know, the music that he has created, that J. Cole has created, that Chance, myself have created has been so good, it's like we'll wait on it.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to, then yeah, but, you know, if you feel like you need more time, then, so I just go off feeling. Like, there was a time early on, I dropped 3 mixtapes in 1 year. I would drop 2 projects in 1 year, and then I got to a point I was dropping 1 every 2 years. The last 2 have been like 1 every 2 years, maybe an EP here and there. But it, you know, it just depends, like you said, on inspiration. You know, if I was inspired right now to record something and drop it, boom, and I'm inspired another 3 months from that, then that's just what it is, and I'll do that. But a lot of times, you know, we spend so much time. I've spent a lot of time putting in the Our Lady's Wisdom. I spent a lot of time putting in the Eves, and it's just like, you know, I had to go live a little bit.
Yeah. I know we like kind of just meeting, but not really. You brought me a juice. We're bringing that.
We homies though.
But the reason I asked you about numerology is because I'm very into like spirituality, like law of attraction, manifestation, things like that.
You gotta put me on. I'm still learning.
Listen, I'll send you to my girl Devi in LA. She got a whole crystal shop.
Okay,
like,
then yes.
She doing all that. But do you feel like you have, or maybe I should reword this, what do you feel is the purpose of your journey so far in music? Because you're very particular. You have taken your stand of like, this is what I stand for. This is what I'm going to do. This is the way I'm going to present myself. At what point do you feel like, all right, I fulfilled what I was sent to fulfill in music, in my unique position? Because you didn't, I don't want to say sell out, but you don't, you're not half naked. You're not taking the easy way. You took levels to this. So at what point do you feel like it's full circle, like it's worth it?
I don't know. I'd have to see. I think my purpose is inspiration. To inspire that, you can show up as you are, that you can be just as good as the men, to tell the story and to show the full spectrum of what a woman in hip-hop or a woman in general looks like. To be an example for the younger generation of what they can aspire to be, whether it's in music or not. And, I think, too, to just open more doors and widen the corridor for us and create more space. So I think overall, like, I don't know if I ever be done.
Yeah.
I think there's always going to be work to do, but I think it might be a point where I could sit down and breathe a little bit, when I see those changes start to happen, where you see more women in the conversation for their pure raw talent and not just because, you one of the best females to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? To see us, in more spaces in music, whether it's behind the mic, whether it's behind the engineer board, whether it's DJs, to be represented in these spaces of history where, whether it's the Grammys or, award shows, not to say that necessarily validates us, but when those happen, you want to see women in those spaces because right now the numbers are crazy off.
Yeah.
But we bring so much to the table and to the culture. So I think, when we start to see those things even out, then
that's
maybe,
when it's
transition into the next purpose, the next phase.
I'm sorry to get so deep with you, girl, but you brought me a juice. So we gonna talk about some real things.
Yes, I'm with it. I like the conversation.
I know. Well, I appreciate you coming, girl. I know all the men that left the room when did whatever they do. But tonight you are at House of Blues, Peacock Room. A black woman created this tour.
Myself, Cyrock, the Goddess MC, Heather Victoria, Ruben Vincent. It's going to be dope.
It's going to be, listen, I told Reza, I was like, I usually don't go out Mondays, but today I'm going to make.
Coming out for me?
Yeah.
I'm going on earlier tonight, too.
What time?
9:30.
All right. So we going to do an early turn up tonight.
My girl, I feel loved.
But until then, it's the Audi 93.7 The Beat. Thank you.
Thank you so much.